Rolling on the podcast.
Rolling on the podcast.
Rolling on the podcast.
Rolling on the podcast.
Welcome back
Yeah.
to Luke and Meg. This is a singing episode. We're gonna do it all in song.
Yeah.
Except for now.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the pod. Another week.
Another week.
Ticked off another one. It's good to get to the end of the week and go, fuck, I did it.
Yeah, it is
Because at the start
actually.
of this week, I was like, no way.
You're not going to make it through it.
Yeah,
You're
it
gonna
felt
get there.
like a long week.
It was a long week.
First week off tour.
Actually, no. What am I saying? It actually hasn't been a long week. It's been going way too quickly, and I have gotten nothing done.
I've spent a lot of it asleep.
Yeah.
Been doing a lot of hibernating. When I get off tour, I turn into a bear.
You just hibernate for 3 weeks at a time, and then
And I
don't
only eat
sleep.
salmon, and I'm a threat to strangers.
You don't eat salmon.
That's gross.
I was actually looking up recipes the other day for snapper.
Ugh.
I know. But it's
You
good.
don't like fish?
No, I like, well, that's the thing. I had snapper at this really nice restaurant one time, and it was amazing. I was like, oh my God, this isn't fishy at all. It doesn't taste like fish. It was great.
You
But
just
then,
got bamboozled because you had one good fish.
yes, yeah, exactly. And if I try to recreate it, it's not going to come out the same. So
Seafood's
my losses.
a little bit like country music in a way. Like most people go, oh, I love all foods except for seafood.
Yeah,
Like I like all music except for country music.
that is what
But
I
then,
do.
but then like it's this thing where country music and seafood are both still obscenely popular despite so many people hating on it. And it's also in like my relationship with country music in the sense that like I kind of fuck with a little bit of it.
Yeah, I fuck with a bit of chicken fry.
Like in Morgan Wallen,
Oh, yeah.
when last night we let the liquor talk. That's my calamari.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I-
Last night we let-
I have a real unpopular opinion. We're going to get copyright just from you singing because you sounded so good then.
Yeah.
I'm shocked
I can do it again if you want.
you've left Lee Kernigan off your list.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's Australian country. I would call him. I actually
He's still country.
I would call
You're like,
him-
fuck, if it's Australian, it's not music.
I think it should be a separate genre called Outback. Legit. I reckon Australian country music, because it's
Should just
country
be Outback.
is like Luke Combs to me.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
that, so yeah, the Zach Brown band, you know, like cold beer on a Friday night, where they just list shit.
Yeah,
Everything's
that's
gonna
Chicken
be
Fry.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Zach Brown band
Yeah.
with the radio on.
Yeah.
Or like that, you go through all the song titles and they're just kind of like they just list stuff. They're just like freedom,
Yeah, I mean, there's
jeans.
I will say this forever. One of the best bits that Bo Burnham did was his country song.
That's right. Yeah.
It's so perfect and just like true. And it's the only country song before like Chicken Fry and stuff that I was like, I can fuck with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've been kind of messing with it in the car a little.
I have the most unpopular opinion though, and it could ruin any future career I could have in podcasting or being someone online.
Okay.
I don't want to say it yet because I feel like we should do the wheel before I shatter a million dreams, probably a billion dreams actually.
Yeah.
Luke, what are you hoping for this weekend?
A turn up.
I am also hoping for a turn up, but I could also go for a wind down because it's weird. I'm going to the Peninsula Hot Springs with my sister.
That's a wind down thing.
It is a wind down thing, but then after we're hoping to get litty.
Yeah, but it's Rhys's birthday bash on Sunday.
And Reese's birthday.
happy
bash on
birthday,
Sunday.
Rhys, by the way.
Thank you.
Everyone say happy birthday to Rhys in the comments.
Thank you, everyone.
The big-
Birthday.
Are we singing it?
I was going to,
Okay.
but then you stopped.
Can we sing it in the style of country music? Can I get up an instrumental?
of country happy birthday?
Country music.
Happy birthday karaoke.
Well, if it was true country music, we just have to list shit like cake, cake, He's got a mustache.
And he's eating the cake because it's his birthday.
There's a sparkler. There's singing.
There's some
his friends,
candles.
and there's his family. He's got a cold beer. And
On a
some more.
Friday night, on a Sunday night.
Happy
birthday
to you. Rhys, I love you. Yeah, I
you
do.
And
Happy
it's his birthday. He's having a cold beer on a Sunday night.
So everybody raise your glass for that fine ass. Because it's Rhys's birthday.
Yeah.
And here's to you.
Here's to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Join in. Happy birthday if you know the lyrics.
To you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Thank you,
Rhys.
guys. That was lovely.
I hope your birthday
Best
is
birthday thing I've ever received.
Oh, Jesus. Top 10 status quotes ever on the podcast.
People would be listening to this like, what the fuck am I listening to and why am I still here?
Not at all. They're going, wow, I do make informed decisions about my podcasting habits. This is awesome.
The general thing on Instagram is people also want a turn up. Yeah. So
It's my one weekend off, I think, for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe we've got 2 or 3 more. But I'm turning up.
I'm turning up for this one. All right, ready?
You spin.
Can I spin? Because you spun. Okay, right.
Oh, please,
I'm like
man.
shaking. I'm shaking in my boots.
I need this.
Oh,
I need this.
oh,
Let's
go! It's the turn up. We're turning up for the weekend. What? It's the musical edition of the podcast.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, good.
Don't let my shocked face stop you.
Are you shocked because of all the talent that you're hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Luke, should I shatter everyone's...
Yeah, go on. Say this controversial opinion.
Okay. All right. So, tea time, the group chat that I'm in where girls will send in their tea so that I can be fulfilled gossiply.
Just quickly, 2 things now. 1, gossiply is not a word. And 2,
Well, it can be.
for our boomer listeners, aka Uncle Whitey, there was a little bit of confusion in the Discord. Whitey, who's maybe one of our senior listeners, he's a grandpa.
He's going to get so pissed off at that.
He, in our Discord, was confused about, we were talking about tea time, and he said, I still don't understand what this Facebook group has to do with tea.
Oh, okay.
And I had to explain that tea was another word for gossip.
Well, it's not another word. It's just like at tea time, often
No,
women
but like
will
spill the
gossip.
tea means
Yeah.
like tell me the gossip.
Yeah, tell me the gossip. Yeah.
It's another word for gossip.
It's another, yeah, you're right. It's another term for give me the goss. Yeah, it's just been flooded with Taylor Swift fans and just things of saying, I got tickets. I want tickets. Look at this, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to lie. I don't like Taylor Swift's music. I don't. There's maybe 3 songs in her
Cut the
repertoire.
cameras.
I know. I'm going to get fired. Everyone's going to kill me. Everyone's going to come over to my house and bash me.
I say fuck jokes all the time on stage, and yet I feel more uncomfortable about your statement then.
I don't hate her. I just cannot get into her music. And believe me, I've tried. But in saying that,
she's got some slammers.
she does actually. There are a couple that I can get around.
There's more than a couple.
Early days though. Early days.
Nah, I Knew You Were Trouble goes hard. Baby, never got bad blood. That one's awesome, where she brought the girls together for the music video.
Oh, I can't stand it.
So you don't
can't
like
stand
powerful
it.
women?
No, I love powerful women. I just don't like the song choice that powerful woman is singing and the style. And then, you know what? People were like, Meg, you know, it's not her fault. It was the music people, whatever the producers or something that made her do that music, and that wasn't her, and listen to her new stuff and listen to this how she intended it to be.
No, I'm with you. The
It's
new stuff,
so much
the
worse.
new stuff sucks. I'm sorry.
It's terrible.
I tried to listen to it's like Anti-Hero. Was that one of the new songs? We tried to listen to one in the car and we both got like halfway through and we both looked at each other and went, who's going to turn it off?
I was looking at you because I know that you don't mind her music.
I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie. I would call myself neutral. I just like pop. Like pop, I'm just pick and choose. I treat pop music like a buffet.
Right.
I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll grab a little bit of Taylor, a little bit of Ariana Grande, a lot of Lewis Capaldi.
A lot. Did I tell you the saddest thing the other day? What happened sorry, it was probably like 2 weeks ago now. I was in the car with my sister, my nephew, and my niece, and all four of us were just in the car, like belting Lewis Capaldi songs, and it was the saddest family sing-along. Kirsten and I, like after everything had finished, we just like stopped and we sat in silence for a bit, and Kirsten like turned to me and goes, "That was kind of fucked up, but I loved it." She was like, anyone looking in on this car, just seeing two children and two sisters just belting out Lewis Capaldi.
Two children under the age of 6 go, when the day bleeds into nightfall.
And perfect, might I add. They're great little singers.
Through it all.
It's so sad. Anyway, yes, so back to the Swiftie. I can't get around it. I've really tried. It's just something I just can't get around her voice.
Now, usually I would say, Meg, you're allowed to have that opinion. Unfortunately, these days you're actually not allowed to have that opinion.
I know.
It's against the rules now because now she's coming to Australia. Yeah, I know. And by Australia, apparently Australia is just Sydney and Melbourne. The rest of Australia doesn't exist.
It doesn't, including to like Matt Rife as well is only doing, isn't he
Melbourne,
only
Sydney,
doing Melbourne?
Brisbane.
Oh, is he doing Brisbane as well?
Yeah, but Brisbane, like this thing, Brisbane gets included in international tours a lot. I'm pretty sure America has never heard of Adelaide. I don't think Americans know it exists, or when they Google it, for some reason, like they have something on their internet that blocks out Adelaide and Perth.
It's just
except for
like
Coldplay. Coldplay briefly got wind of Perth and they're doing an exclusive concert.
Really?
The government paid them to only come to Perth.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
She's in struggle town at the moment.
But I don't know why they don't come. This is what maybe it's just because like I don't know what it's like to have so much money where you should, like, I'm just talking even financially, right? So obviously you should come for more reasons than finances, right?
Yeah.
You should come because you have a lot of fans there, just touring. That's why we go everywhere in Australia, right?
Yes.
And now next year we're going to go a lot more places in the UK because I understand that I have fans in these places and it's not possible to travel an hour because babysitters and you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So you should try and go everywhere once. And we're working on it and I'm, anyway. But say when you have like, maybe if that's not your reason, right? Say just for money alone. We went to watch the footy in Adelaide on the weekend.
Yeah.
Seats 40,000 people. Is that still not a good payday for Taylor Swift?
I am okay. So the performing that you do and the performing that she does is as in like she is doing so many tour dates, and it's like. The big difference is that she is singing and then like with comedy, you're just kind of talking on stage.
Yeah, but just span out the tour like over a few years. Like,
well, that's really tiring. That's super tiring.
Have breaks.
Yes, that's the thing. They don't
hit America, then do that, have a break, hit England or UK, hit Europe, and then Australia always gets. Actually, in the comedy world, it's the opposite. People use Australia to work on their new shit. Like when Chris Rock and stuff came here, apparently it was like, that's what I heard. He was like working on the new show.
Yeah, everyone uses Australia to do their first gigs.
I don't know. And we're also the most isolated country in the world. Our population is not crazy. The fact that they do come here is...
And it'll be fucking expensive as well.
And it's expensive.
Oh, it'd be so expensive.
So expensive.
To bring all like their crew and all the equipment and like I heard of someone told me what Ed Sheeran had to do. You know, he had that big thing behind him. Like, so he does this thing where he shows just Ed in a loop pedal. Yeah. But then he has this big background that tours around with him. I heard that they had one for the East Coast and now they had to build one from scratch for Perth or just scrap it and didn't use it for his Perth show at Optus. Yeah, because they just couldn't drive it across the Nullarbor.
That makes sense.
Is what I heard.
You couldn't drive that would be like so many trucks.
And he had 3 of them that used to get shipped around the world on boats. Apparently, like all the equipment, because while he was touring the UK, then they have to start. It takes ages for something to go on a boat to here, so they have to put it on a boat like a month early. This is what I've been told.
Yeah,
just like the tour logistics of these things are wild. But then I also just, on the other hand, you see yourself as a consumer, and you're like, Jesus, I know someone who paid $600 for VIP tickets to Taylor Swift where you don't get to meet her. You just get like a poster and a good seat.
Was shocked by that. I was so shocked. Like I knew, I don't know, that's crazy to me that like you can justify.
And I was talking to her and I was like, that's so much money. And she was like, oh, I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to buy them. And I was like, what kind of fan base is that?
Yeah. And that was like that's the thing, like that was the last of the tickets. So they had no other option, which is kind of gross that like they were like, okay, there's no other option. So you now have to buy the VIPs if you want to go and see it.
But no one,
which is so weird.
With any other product, like never have I walked into like the Good Guys and bought like a fridge and been like, God, I'm so excited for the opportunity to hand them $700.
No.
It's just like, no, that's just...
I would get that with a dryer. You know, I would absolutely get that with a dryer because we really need one. And I had a dream the other night, and in the dream, you got me a dryer. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, and like you were like, come in, I've got a surprise for you. And I was like, what's the surprise? And then it was a dryer, and I was like, oh my God.
And then you woke up
and then I woke up and I was like, I'm so excited, I have a dryer. Fuck, I'm in bed. That means it was a dream.
You rolled over and I'm just like,
yeah.
You're like, oh, what a dick. Didn't get me a dryer. He was sleeping the whole time.
Dryer.
I don't know.
So, I understand.
The Taylor Swift thing has gotten so much airtime. I don't really know how to feel about it, to be honest. I think it's
a lot.
Wild.
It's a lot. And that's the thing, like from me, coming from someone who like doesn't like her music, it's been crazy watching it because it's just flooding everything. It's flooding my news feed. It's flooding my like TikTok. It's flooding everything. And I'm just like, I don't care. And it's got, once again, I know I'm going to get cancelled for this shit and for saying
cancelled.
I will. You goddamn know.
The Swiftie army are going to
Bro, they're like the K-pop army.
Oh,
they
I refuse to say that band's name now on podcasts.
It's like the beep army. Like, you know, they're going to fuck us up.
There is 3 letters in the English alphabet that I am not willing to say in order anymore on podcasts.
But I'm one of them, so it's okay.
All right, I'll say it out of order.
They all say it out of order.
STB. I refuse to say that name.
It sounds like a sexually transmittable disease when you say it like that. No, I am one of them, so it's okay. They shouldn't attack their own kind. Surely.
There's 3 militaries, 3 armies in the world that I'm not willing to go up against. BTS stands, the American government, and Swifties.
I love that you put the American government second.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, BTS, they'll fuck you up.
Yeah, no. K-pop stands as something else. Like, if we ever got invaded, I hope South Korean 14-year-old girls would back us up in that fight. Because we need that.
We do. We need that. We need that like dedication and that like just raw drive to, I don't know.
Because
follows anything.
All you need, this is how you win a war. You put the 7, and I found out recently there's 7 of them. I'm just going to say the name, right? Because I'm being positive about the band. I love BTS.
I mean, I'll shut you down real quick.
Fear for my life, I fucking love them. They're my favorite band in the world. God, don't kill me.
I am definitely more Blackpink, but I love, don't get me wrong.
For context, Lewis and I spoke about them once on a podcast, and we had a venue receive like thousands of emails. Like going, what have you guys done? And we sent the clip. They're like, oh, cool. We don't care. All good. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, This is how you win in a fight.
Okay. A war or a
war.
fight?
Anyone.
Okay.
If aliens invade or if another country invades, it doesn't matter. This is how you win a war.
Okay.
You put the 7 lead singers of BTS, and if you want to own the war, you get Blackpink up there as well.
Oh, yes.
You put them on the front line, and you put their entire fan base behind them. Because never have I've seen a fan base more. No, sorry, actually, you reverse it. You put the fan base on the front line, and you put BTS on the back line, so they have to hold them off.
Yeah. No, I reckon
these girls will die for these men.
No, I reckon you put them at the back on a stage though, and it's got bulletproof glass and stuff, and they're just fucking playing their beats. I would love a mashup between BTS and between Blackpink. That would I would fight. I would fight the entire army myself for that.
Well, this is how dedicated their fans are. The reason why I know so much about this band now, by the way, is because one of your best friends, Phoebe, went to see them. No, not them. Went to see one of the lead singers do a solo show. In Singapore.
Yeah, she went to Singapore and she not only got one, so she went to the first show, right? And then she was like, I have to go there again. I have to see them again. And so she went on this super dodgy site that was selling these like ridiculously priced tickets and was like, I would rather spend $600 on something that might be like she's like, I could get kidnapped going to get this thing, right? So the guy like messages her back like, yeah, it's legit. Like, come to this address, come to here. And I was like, please tell me you didn't go. She was like, I needed those. She was like, I could get kidnapped and I'd be like, as long as I got those tickets, I'd be fine. And so she went to this fucking apartment in Singapore that she didn't know, and thank God they were real. So he gave her the ticket and she went again.
Jesus Christ.
That's how dedicated these fans are. Like, they will literally risk being abducted and potentially sold in Singapore to see BTS.
But that's what you got to do for your favorite band. If you're not, I wish our podcast listeners were that dedicated.
There's no way.
No, we had someone come up to you and without marshmallows in his mouth, because last week we talked about if you want a free sticker at the merch table, you just got to walk up to the merch desk and do the Chubby Bunny challenge with marshmallows, and Meg will give you a sticker.
Yeah, which is where you put marshmallows in your mouth and then you go, as many marshmallows in your mouth as possible, and then you go, Chubby Bunny.
This is how non-dedicated our fans are compared to K-pop fans. Right? Just this thing, K-pop versus A-pod is very different, right?
Wild.
Korean pop fans versus Australian pod fans, completely different. This guy walks up and goes, I don't have marshmallows. Hang on.
They just blew up his lips.
And pretended to have marshmallows.
I gave him a sticker because I was like, fuck, that's actually kind of dedicated. I like that.
Meanwhile, there's white girls in Singapore traveling over from Australia willing to get kidnapped for a ticket.
Yeah.
You guys can't even bring marshmallows to the show? What the fuck is wrong?
We got to get some of that BTS fan base over to ours.
But yeah, I have seen a lot of Taylor coming up on my TikTok, and I'm not going to lie, there's been these clips coming up where she does like... And I read the comments and like, because I'm trying to understand the fandom.
Yeah.
I get fascinated by stuff like this. Like I view things from afar because I don't, I'll be honest, I don't really give a shit either. Yeah. But I think it's fascinating. And then all these tell like, I miss Rock Taylor. And I was like, oh, that was like an era where she did like a rock tour apparently.
Did she?
I don't know. Like there was a video of her playing guitar. And dude, she was doing We Are Never Getting Back Together, but like a rock version. And she was like building up like with power chords, like, never ever wait, and then the drums kicked in. I never ever, and the whole stadium's just gone ballistic. And I was watching that shit like, dude, that's so sick.
Is it actually kind of fire?
It was awesome.
maybe if it's put into a rock like format, I could like it.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't really listen to the new album in full. I listened to like 3 songs, and I was like, but this is the thing. I know that I'm in the minority. I definitely know that I don't think you are.
for sure. And I know like objectively she's amazing. I just, for some reason, I can't, like, I just don't like her voice. Like I can't get around it. Although Mitch and I were blasting some of her old tunes in the car the other day on the way back from Mount Gambier. and it was going off.
Yeah.
It was going off.
Mount Gambier was sick.
Yeah.
Really good place.
Yeah.
One of the best tour stops, like so far, I reckon. Like, 'cause
Really?
I've never been there before, and it was so green and like nice. The whole place we found out is built on a network of caves, which means they have regular sinkholes. And we went to visit one of the sinkholes, which is like a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
There's now like a garden planted in it. That was super cool. And then we rock up to the venue.
I saw a fat possum and the signs around it weren't like, don't feed the possums because they're fat. They were just like, don't feed the possums this stuff, but you can feed them this stuff. Like, that's how much they know that those possums are going to eat.
And we got to the venue and the guy was like, oh, have you enjoyed your time? I was like, oh, we only got here a few hours ago, but we saw the sinkhole. And he goes, ooh, like this is the soundtrack of the venue. He goes, ooh, touchy subject. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he goes, the sinkholes at the moment, bit of a touchy subject. And I was like, oh, why? And he goes, oh, 2 more have opened up this week. And I was like, what?
2 in 1 week.
And he goes, yeah, mate. He goes, yeah. One open next to a cafe. And I was like, oh, so what? Now is the cafe closed down? He goes, no, they've been getting heaps of business. It's like another tourist attraction now.
They're like, come on down to the Cook County Cafe where there's a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
See that? There's a hole.
The locals are just like, oh, you want to come see the hole?
Want to come see my hole?
Scrambled eggs in a hole. Great way to start your morning.
Yikes. But then, oh yeah.
Whole place, yeah, it's because it's the limestone. My understanding of it is that it's volcanic, like it was built on a volcanic region.
Yeah.
Years ago. Therefore, there's a bunch of water under the ground.
Yeah, it's a limestone though, so
and it's just eroded all the
erodies. It's eroding. Name's Greg.
And now the town's just falling in itself, and it's wild. And yeah, we were talking to my mum and dad about
God,
it.
your mum was so funny. She goes, "Oh, sinkholes.
Well, I think
what's the road like? Can you feel the sinkholes?" And we're like, "That's not how it works."
I think I made some joke over the phone, like, yeah, the whole place is just falling in on itself. Kind of like like they have a lot of sinkholes, but not like, there's
not
still
legitimately falling in on it.
Yeah, like they still have a Macca's, like it's fine. You know what I mean? Like the place is running, you can go to the supermarket. And Mum kind of took that as literal, and she went, "Oh, like did you feel unsafe driving?" And I was like, "Well, no, because you don't know where the sinkhole is below you." It's not like
she thought that you could feel it when you're driving on the roads. Like she thought like you could feel if the ground was unsturdy.
She thought it was like when you walk on like an ice lake and like you see it cracking and you're like, oh, that bit's weak. Like it's not like you're walking down the pavement and you're like you feel it go, and you're like, oh, I'll walk over on the footpath. Yeah, literally.
Do you think they've got a list of like all the holes in the town? And it's like there's a hole with like photos next to it. Yeah. And then it just has the Macca's and it's like the biggest hole in Mount Gambier.
That place was shit. We went to
but it was good. I liked it. I liked seeing the sinkholes. Everything was good. Rhys didn't actually come with us on this
How
one.
sad.
Because it was his birthday, which,
that's not the reason.
Wait, what was the reason?
It was my nephew's birthday, so.
Oh, there was a birthday.
You went to a first.
Oh, it's a first.
It was a first.
Oh, how was it?
It was good.
Did it go off?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to like a baby party.
They had like a ball pit thing.
Yeah. I'd never need like mates that are one.
I'm fucking glad about that, Luke. There would be issues if you were like, yeah, I've got a best mate. He's just turned 12 months. But,
yeah, I just don't hang out with.
Is he crawling yet?
Much.
Yeah, he's crawling. Yeah.
My nephew had a really strange thing that he did for the first 2 years of his life, where he didn't actually learn to crawl. He would sit on his butt. And then his legs would do this weird spaghetti thing where they'd just be like, and he'd just like morph his way along the floor with this weird ass like octopus leg move. And then he just went from doing the octopus leg move to standing and walking.
More like a lizard.
Yeah, it was like a lizard with a broken leg.
Yeah.
Because one of his legs was like kind of behind him. The other one was in front of him, and he just used that momentum like a frog swimming. So, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's better than me. When I was a kid, I had to wear a helmet because
That is true. We still make her wear it as well.
Yeah, just in case I get concussion.
When Meg walks down the stairs, I go, remember your helmet?
Fuck. The helmet, not the helmet again.
Yeah.
Rhys also has a mighty gash on his head.
I sure do.
One of the best messages I've ever received, funniest messages, sorry, was, okay, you just have to tell the story of how you got this gash.
So last Tuesday night, I finished work. I go to my girlfriend's house for dinner. She was cooking pasta in the kitchen. I've gone to walk into the kitchen, and she thought it would be funny with like the spoon thing to go, Expelliarmus. When she's done that, it's like come out of the grip and flung at my head. It hit me square in the fucking head.
Was it metal? Or was it like wooden? Because it's a pretty big...
I think it might have been wooden. I think it was wooden.
It's funny in the sense that it's not funny. I'm glad you're okay. You're all good now. What is a bit funny is that she did a Harry Potter related spell and then gave you a Harry Potter related scar. You look like the boy who lived.
Yeah.
You do.
That's what really most of the jokes have been related to it. Yeah.
For the audio listeners, he looks like a dark wizard tried to murder him as a child, and it's stuck with him to this day. The only thing you're really missing is a scar. It's just like a straight line.
No, that looks like a scar at the moment.
No, sorry, like the lightning bolt.
Oh, the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get her to do another two more times, and then it should look okay.
Yeah, so it started bleeding and then she started freaking out. She's like, "Oh, we'll go to a chemist and have him look at it." And it was like we get to the chemist and it was the most...
Why? Why didn't she just go Reparo? She already did one spell that worked.
Yeah, try another one.
It did work. Like, come on.
Yeah, so we go into the chemist and the lady's like, "Oh, what happened?" And I was like, "Oh, you can explain." I'm not explaining this one.
You're like, go on, Shannon.
And the lady was like, "Yeah, right."
Tell the nice lady about how you assaulted me.
Wait, so she actually had to tell the story and that she was like, I was wielding my wooden spoon as a wand and the spell worked.
If I was her, I would have been like, well, I was practicing my spells, and sometimes when you're studying to be a young witch, things don't always go to plan.
Yeah. She didn't really acknowledge the story after we told her. She was just like, "Yeah, right."
And did you
say like she said Expelliarmus?
Yeah,
no, we didn't say that.
Oh.
So she pretended to do a thing and
Oh, you should have. She must have piffed that at you if it was wooden.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was like, oh, it has to be like a metal.
It might have been, I don't really remember. I didn't really observe.
Right, yeah, fair, because it's also
was.
you had a head injury, so you're probably concussed as well. That's crazy. Yeah, well, it was very amusing
then I
to me.
took like a photo and I put it in our work group chat and I was like, great, they're probably going to think I've been like assaulted or something on the way home.
Yeah.
So funny.
But you're okay now.
Yeah, I've survived.
He survived. He's lived to tell the tale.
Imagine if like hit me in the eye and I got like blinded from that.
That's what I was thinking actually, because it is very close to your eye, and that's imagine losing your eye for that. Like, oh my God, how did you lose your eye? Oh, well, my girlfriend did an Expelliarmus spell and expelled my eye from my head.
Why do you think the Ministry of Magic has rules against muggles practicing magic?
Yeah, that makes
shit like this happens.
Yeah.
You end up at the chemist at 11 p.m. with an unamused pharmacist. That's good. We had an interesting question roll in. We check our DMs of the Instagram.
Yeah, we check them.
And so if you want to shoot some correspondence to the show through, it will be seen. First one came in from Samuel. This is quick. I just wanted to issue an apology. Love the pod, guys. He said, "Luke, my soul dies a little each time you refer to the wrestler Edge as the Edge. Cheers. Also aware that you probably 100% don't care." That's not true, Samuel. I do want to apologize for that. I'm new to wrestling. This is kind of like a new world that's been open to me. And in my head, I think I was just referring to The Edge because of the guitarist from U2.
I was literally waiting for that, and I was like, surely not. Surely he's not going to say that.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
But I don't think anyone in our direct friendship group has corrected me yet. So thank you very much, Samuel. I will now call him Edge because he has one of probably my favorite wrestling walkout themes. And he's one of my favorite wrestlers from that era. I like him in the ring, his walkouts go to when he comes back at the 2020 Royal Rumble.
You might catch the song on the pre-show playlist for Luke's tour this year.
Oh.
Yeah. Dude.
What if you walk
Tyler
out
hit
to
it? Well, there was chat of that. Blake walked out to it at his show at the Astor. I'm thinking of maybe doing it in a couple shows. Okay. What is awesome is Tyler played it the other night without telling me when I walked off. Like the end of the show the other night, just destroyed. Like I got like this big applause right at the end, and then like that's before the main punchline. And I hit the punchline, and the punchline ripped. And then you just hear like, I'm like, thank you so much, Adelaide. Good night. I've never felt cooler. Then you see, on this day, I see clearly. And I just walked off, and I was like, oh, dude. But then I ruined it because I ran over and grabbed my water bottle and then ran up.
That is pretty epic. Maybe you do play it for the end of the show.
It was sick.
Yeah. It was good when Blake did it as well. I just couldn't even hear it over the insane crowd cheers that he was getting.
Can make it happen for Nari Warren.
Yeah, walk out or walk off?
Walk off.
Walk off, yeah. I think walk off is better.
But
unless you bomb and then it's like a, yeah. And then you're like, on this day. And it's just like, everyone's like, oh.
I could walk out to the Cody Rhodes one. And then I pause and everyone goes, whoa.
In this case, no one does it. Or like
no one will do it.
Or like one.
Funny, there's like two people in the crowd. One of them knows it.
Yeah, one guy is in the crowd like, whoa.
That'd be sick. Yeah, there's something just about wrestling entrances that no other sport or entertainment entity has surpassed.
No, they're so good.
No.
Like, it was so sad. Like, we went and watched the footy in Adelaide on the weekend, and it was like Adelaide versus North Melbourne, and the club walked out to the theme song, which is great, but then they had like shitty pyro set up, and there was more smoke than pyro. Like, the pyro went off, but then it just immediately smoked out, and the place started going...
I was like...
going through it, and I was like, God, we just haven't nailed the intro as Australians yet. Like,
not yet.
I think there's also something about the tall poppy syndrome of our culture where if you do have a cool intro and look awesome, people are like, who's this guy think he is?
Yeah.
Can bloody enter a stadium, think he's better than us? Fuck this guy. Whereas like in America, like like John Cena walks out and goes, dun, 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 and goes like, and people just lose their minds.
Yeah. Because it's amazing. He's also made his like staple there. The fucking guy that we've got in the WWE under like the Australian banner is a fucking Love Island contestant.
Grayson.
Who
Waller.
I can't get around him. You know what? I'm also going through, I think, a weird like accent identity crisis because every time I hear the Australian accent on like online or in a movie or something, I'm like, I fucking hate it. Why? But I'm talking in an Australian accent now.
How do you think all our international listeners feel having to listen to this shit every week? I mean, they're doing it by choice.
Yeah. Why are you here?
Let us know if you're an international person. Do you like the Australian accent?
Or are you like, that's annoying?
I feel like it's annoying amongst American accents. I feel like the Grayson guy puts it on.
Yeah, but he puts it on in a weird way. He sounds like someone from like Hobart, but not in like a good, like not doing it right, if that makes sense.
We watched Extraction the other night, which is like a Chris Hemsworth movie on Netflix, and it's set in India, but he plays an Australian.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of American people in it as well, because he's part of this like special forces team kind of. But it is a little bit jarring, his accent, when in scenes when he's talking to them. But then when he's talking to like the Indian kid who he's trying to rescue, it's not jarring.
Yeah.
Anyway, this one came in from Ollie, and I think it's an interesting question, and I don't know if I've ever I've probably talked about things maybe in a similar vein, but I don't think I've ever answered this exact question online. Hey, Mummy Luke and Daddy Meg. I have a question and a suggestion for your next week's episode. How do you both stay internet drama free? I've noticed y'all are very carefree and not interested in beef with other creators and other people for that matter. I'm only asking this because recently a bunch of other beefs have resurfaced online, and now they're all fighting all over my TikTok page. I don't know, maybe you could give us people tips of how we can stay drama free.
And then
I'll be honest, Ollie 34570. How much beef are you getting in online?
there is actually a lot that has resurfaced.
Yeah, but
there
this
is
guy's
a lot.
like, I don't think this guy,
No.
he's like, God, give us tips of how we can stay drama free. How much beef is this dude getting in?
Dude, we don't have enough beef going on. I want to. No one wants beef with us. So, you know what? The real question here is, how do I cause beef?
Yeah.
Who do I have to fuck up to cause some beef on this platform?
I would love drama.
I want drama.
That's actually completely not true and a joke.
Why would you think that's a joke?
Meg
I want
wants it.
drama.
As a genuine answer to this question,
Yeah.
right? I'll answer it genuinely and then we can do that bit after.
Okay.
Sweet. The genuine answer would be, I think it's sad and pathetic and really funny when people beef online. I just watch all like people like in drama, and I did go down this route early on in my career and I didn't like it. I did the video about Jackson O'Doherty.
Oh, yeah.
Who is like I think he does OnlyFans now.
I don't know what he does anymore.
Hey, Lukey 2, Jackson 0. Unless he has a massive cock. In that case, he's crushing me. But what was it? Yeah. So I did this video where I had this You Don't Know Me series where I recorded this thing. And then a bunch of creators did that idea.
Yeah.
Right? Where they ignored signs, including MrBeast.
Yeah.
But MrBeast was the second person to copy it. So
And this was when he wasn't nowhere near as big as what he was now.
So glad in hindsight that I never did a video on MrBeast.
Yeah.
Because that would have just backfired over time slowly.
Wouldn't have gone well.
But anyway, I did have the Twitter DM with MrBeast at the time.
Yeah.
Which I've talked about before on podcasts.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a beef, by the way. I was just sassy.
Can we resurface it?
I feel like I've told this story before. Yeah. I would still have it in my... So this is... but now it's just one of the biggest L's of my career. Without a doubt. And this is why you don't do beef, because it just... There's nothing positive comes out of it.
No, if anything, it's just all negatives. It creates negatives as well.
So I never message anyone on Twitter, so I've still got my messages from 2017 on here. So this is, by the way, you got to remember, this is pre-MrBeast now.
Yeah.
This is like when he had 700, 800K on YouTube. And people got to put yourself in you got to put yourself in the era of, not many people remember this, but he wasn't as well liked as he is now, because he used to do videos where he used to just sit in a chair and say Logan Paul 10,000 times, and used to do kind of anything to get views.
Anything for views, yeah.
So people at the time were just split on him. This guy does really stupid shit for views. His videos suck, blah, blah, blah. But then I watch MrBeast's videos now. I think Jimmy's great, and I think he seems like a lovely dude, and what he's done for YouTube is phenomenal. By the way, I have nothing against Jimmy. I think he's fucking cool. And this is a massive walking L on my end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I was so mad when I first heard this, because I love MrBeast. I've grown up with him, and I was like, what the
But this is just me being immature and sassy and a little bit definitely cut at the time, that I for once had this original. It wasn't even that original, really. I'm ignoring science. But in the sense that I did it to that song.
Yeah.
He definitely... A lot of people did go on to copy the exact format, which is what
exactly.
I found odd. And this was in the day as well where H3 Productions and iDubbbz and stuff were doing content cops. It was really frowned upon to steal other people's content.
It wasn't like TikTok, where the whole idea of it is to copy other creators.
Yeah, this is back in the day where if you stole someone's concept, you were just considered a bit of a dog.
Yeah.
So I got on the front page of Reddit for calling out Jackson. at the time, which
Oh.
yeah, like it was still one of my biggest videos on my channel.
Yeah.
And he sent me this big long DM at the time. That's the thing. The whole thing just didn't feel good to me.
Yeah.
The drama.
It's not
right?
feel good. It doesn't create a feel good kind of moment or anything. Beef is not good.
So I go to MrBeast. This is 10th of March 2017. Hey man, big fan, loving all your original content.
Oh.
Luke,
you. What did he say? Did he come back to you?
Yep. He goes, hey, I just want to shout out one of your social media since I took heavy inspiration from one of your videos.
Heavy inspiration.
Do you want me to shout out your Twitter or channel? And I just immediately cave and go, channel would be great. Cheers. And then he goes, and this is where I got sassy again. I go, what would you say? He goes, what would you say is your best video? And then I linked him.
No, I don't. Do you go like Kung Fu Rabbit or something?
No, I linked him the video of me calling out Jackson for stealing the same video idea.
Oh.
And I said, this is my best video, by the way. And then MrBeast goes, now I feel bad. I saw you on a big meme Twitter and didn't know you had a channel. And I just never replied.
Oh my God. See, that's like he was being actually
I
nice,
know.
being like, oh, hey man, like, of course I'll shout out your channel. And you just sent him back the fucking sassiest thing. Then he goes, I'm so sorry. Like,
But because you got to think, at the
so
time,
nice.
everyone around me, including
Yeah.
my friends and stuff who are in the same comedic space, are like, what a dog, he stole your video. Like, it was considered like a bad thing to do, right? Like, or a thing that would like lose a lot of respect in that space.
Yeah.
So I was surrounded by people telling me like this was the right thing to do. I now realize in hindsight, I just come off like a jerk in these.
Yeah.
And just like butthurt, which
Yeah.
I was.
you should message him back going, hey man, I'm so sorry.
Well, then he replied to me the year later. So then he goes, then 15th of June. So the conversation, like I left him on scene for 3 months. Then he just goes, this is the biggest L ever of my career. MrBeast said,
Chair.
I'm sorry.
the biggest L of my career. Then Rhys just goes, "Brrr."
And then I look at him and he goes, chair. And they're like
I swear I didn't
swear to
fart.
God, it was a chair.
I hope that's on the mic. Rhys just ripping ones in the corner as I'm building up drama.
Sorry, what was the thing?
No, that was it. That was the biggest.
That was the biggest.
Yeah. MrBeast said to me on the 15th of June 2017, where do you live? It'd be fun to collab and make one of those You Don't Owe Me videos for both our channels. Left him on scene.
No, Luke. You should reply now. You should reply now.
On the collab.
Hey, man.
5 years later, reply now.
Hey, MrBeast, still keen for that collab?
Reply. Dude, we could have had a fucking Ferrari already. What are you doing?
But, oh,
I
God.
could have been in Squid Game.
But you got to think at the time, right? Flying to America, to the other side of the world, spending like $4,000 or whatever to do a video with some guy with like 700,000 subscribers would have been, everyone around me would have been like, you're an idiot. That's a crazy thing to do. In hindsight, terrible decision.
Terrible decision. All right, go on, message him now. Message him back going, all right, mate.
In
Had a few
2018,
years.
Lewis was doing this live stream that said, this is what after, so he started to blow up in 2018,
Yeah.
MrBeast, and Lewis was live streaming and saying, live streaming until MrBeast gives me $10,000. And he'd been live streaming for like 9 hours at this point. And I messaged Lewis, I go, oh, that's cool. I have like a DM thread with him on Twitter. I'll just send him the link and hopefully he'll join. And then at least if he joins, you might be able to end the stream. So I go, get in there, mate, and just sent a link. And then he replies, and this is when he was big because I remember the video. He goes, I'm filming a video with my megaphones, haha. You know that video where he lined them all up like in The Simpsons?
Yeah.
When Bart queues up all the megaphones?
Yeah.
They did a MrBeast video where I'm pretty sure he put them all in a line to see
I
how
remember
loud
that
it would
one.
be.
Yeah.
He replied on set of that video. So he must have had views and stuff at the time. He would have been probably as big as like maybe Airac is now.
Luke, I'm begging you. I'm fucking begging you. Please, please, please message him.
Out of pure punishment to myself, I will just have to You know, this serves as a lesson. And this is to answer your question, Ollie. This is why we don't do internet beef, because sometimes people become MrBeast.
Oh my God.
I'm actually the best case study that probably exists on earth as to why you shouldn't pick beef with people.
Yeah, that is true.
But no, I just think it's silly to do beef, and
it's a bit of fun though.
but there's no net benefit in me picking beef because I'm a comedian. So it's not like YouTubers kind of have to like have something going on, like a story arc or whatever, to create drama and therefore content and therefore retention of their fan base, like something that they can follow.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. I just post stand-up clips. People go, he's funny. Will I or will I not buy a ticket?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, we have podcasts for the real keen fans that are like interested to know more about our lives. But aside from that, like, what do I have to gain from like picking a beef with even another comedian?
It's a bit of fun.
Who do you want to have beef with?
I don't know. I was actually just thinking about that. I can't pick beef with BLT because
you can pick beef with BLT.
Then I'm just picking beef with you.
Well, then it becomes a civil war for me.
Oh, civil war?
Yeah.
Like in WWE?
And in the Avengers.
Oh, yeah. And in the Avengers.
We could do Australian Pods Infinity War, where it's just it's like the scene in Anchorman, but it's just like, you know, where they all walk into the car park and they start fighting. It's just BLT, Luke and Meg, Tom and Frenchie there. Get Tony and Ryan in the mix, you know. Alpha blokes come in and just scull a beer.
Yeah.
Who else is Australian?
I could get Georgia.
I was just going to say, you might not remember this, but there was a bit a couple of years ago where Cursor dissed you, so you could have had some beef with Cursor.
You had what? You got beef, but what?
Did Cursor diss me?
Yeah. No, remember he
say?
dissed you a couple of years ago?
What did he diss me?
It was like the audio clip on when you...
Oh, yeah. Lewis, like, you know, we used to do the thing on Luke and Lewis where we used to get like celebrities or whatever to like send voice memos.
Oh, yeah.
Did Cursor send one where he dissed me?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
No, that's
Jeez, it must have cut pretty fucking deep.
Damn, Cursor.
No, you got 2 videos up on it on YouTube.
You got 2 videos and you forgot about it?
That's right. I remember that as retaliation, I wanted to find out his address, and my retaliation was going to be to put his windscreen wipers up and then run away.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a good one.
And then I was going to leave a note on his windscreen that said, don't fuck with Kidgel. But his voice message would have been like a joke.
Yeah, obviously.
It would have been like something that he sent to Lewis as a meme for the show.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been like a legitimate
I don't really remember
slam.
about that. But yeah, I remember us talking about the retaliation. I forget why I wanted to have a beef. I thought I picked a beef with Cursor so I could be the sickest or something like that. That's the thing. I've done joke beefs in the past, like with people. Like we used to have a joke beef between Luke and Lewis and Tom and Frenchie, but we were all just friends. So it wasn't an actual beef.
I don't like actual beef.
So one of those ones where you just gotta, in the industry that we're in, you just gotta try and be nice to everyone as best you can, and you just pick and choose. Another reason why we don't really get involved in anything is I don't have many friends in this industry.
Oh yeah.
Maybe as much that people would think I do. Like I'm acquaintances with like a lot of people, like, you know, but I just hang out with like my high school mates on the weekend, and we hang out with like the people who work with us a fair bit. We have like a very small circle around us.
You have to, because when we're on tour and we're traveling a lot, like it doesn't leave a lot of room to be able to check in and talk to other people.
But yeah, no, to summarize, I think I'm honestly just having beef is super silly. And also I'm 27. I know that's maybe not old. I think that's too old to be like making Instagram stories about another person.
Yeah, but mate, I'm 23, so, you know, I'm in my prime. I need to find someone. Guys, give me suggestions of who I could start beef with. I'm really good at it. I'm awesome at insulting people.
Meg will go there. I'm a vegan now. No beef for me. But, and also, dude, we are so busy.
Yeah, I don't have time. I really don't have time. I don't even have time to do the washing that I've got downstairs.
I've got fucking sinkholes to visit. You think I have time to expose people and, you know, insult people online?
I know a lot of two-faced people in the industry. And
in the DC universe.
And in the in the DC universe as well.
Like the character Two-Face.
Yeah. Yes, we did get that. Thank you for pointing that one out, Luke. I
just wanted to remind people that this is still a comedy podcast.
I'm always weird with it because like
sorry.
I haven't spoken for like 15 minutes and the one time that I do, you tell a fucking two-faced joke.
You go.
I'm not good at picking fake people though. So like if someone is nice to my face, then I'm like, oh, that's a nice person. And then I'll hear later on that they've done some really like bad stuff. And I'm like, but they were lovely in person. And you're like, they were very clearly being two-faced. And so I'm not very good with the gauge. I don't really have one. Yeah. I'm like, if you're nice in front of me, you're a nice person.
Yeah, like we'll like over the years we've like gone out, you know, to events and stuff like that, and you'll walk away and the next day you're like, oh my God, it's like that person. They were the best. And you'll have 7 people turn around and you, they were complete assholes.
Yeah.
To all of us.
Yeah.
And potentially even you, but you just didn't realize.
I just had no fucking idea. But they could have been like, you're a fucking mole, but you're a queen. And I'd be like, thank you so much.
Oh my God, she called me a queen mole. I'm the queen of the moles.
I am the queen of the moles. I'm the moliest mole of them all.
I think that's just a good trait that you have. You see the positive in people. Usually I walk into situations like that maybe with a slight guard up. Like in the sense of that's happened before. Where I've gotten to know people and then after a while I've been like, oh, I didn't know that about them.
Yeah.
Weird. Probably should have been a little more. So now I'm a little more reluctant to let people in. That's another thing. I'm not looking for new mates.
Right.
I'm not like on the pursuit of new friends.
Yeah, I love that. I love friends.
No, but if
I'm not a good friend though. And I let them know that. No, I do. I let them know that if I make a new friend, then I have to be like, I'm so sorry. I'm a really bad friend. I'm terrible with replying. I'm terrible with catching up. I'm just in every fucking way that you could be a friend. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
So I let them know before I become friends with them.
But anyway, that's the answer to the question. It's an interesting question, and that is why.
I don't want real beef. Just putting it out there. I'm not good with controversy.
We could have a beef one day.
Just us two?
Yeah.
Well, how would we start beef?
Like
a tiger.
Oh my God, Mummy and Daddy are fighting. Rhys is going to cry and run down the stairs. I'm going back to my room.
Don't slam that door, mister.
All right, that's the end of the pod. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Turn up. Turn the fuck up. Turn up
this weekend. Say happy birthday to Rhys. Condolences about the head. And
remember the Chubby Bunny Challenge. If you come up to us in a show and you got marshmallows in your mouth and you go, Chubby Bunny.
Well, we need to sort out what's on the sticker.
Yeah, I also need to
send in your submissions if you're still listening of what should be on the sticker. We'll probably talk about this next week as well.
Yeah.
Great.
Bye. Bye.